Yeah, hey, what's good, everybody? It's your boy Roman Puss here with some more Genshin Impact. And now today I wanted to go over the top 10 units in all of Genshin Impact. Currently, as it is, before 2.3, we'll see how Itto is. Itto's about to come out tomorrow. I'm ready. I'm excited. Well, no, he's coming out tomorrow. He's coming out on the 24th. The announcement is tomorrow. But yeah, Itto's going to be coming out soon. This is before Itto. I'm excited to see who's the top 10 units. And we're going to go over and cover out who I think is kind of best and why they're best. And yeah, so let's dive in. Okay, number 10 is the big bad Zhang Daddy. Now, some of you may think he should be higher. I'm gonna be honest, he could definitely be higher. I would definitely be fine with that. The thing is, he does make the game like completely easy mode. He gives you a full shield. He scales off HP. You literally, most of your units will not take damage, so kind of a healer is almost not necessary. If you have a healer, you guys will pretty much never take damage unless you're fighting like super over-leveled stuff compared to what your leveled units are. And he has a big meatball potato thing that he drops from the sky that actually kind of bamboozles a lot of units and turns them to stone for like 2 to 3 seconds or 4 or 5 or something like that, and allows you to just wail on them for that period of time. So he has so much utility, and he procs Geo. He'll do crystallize for all your other units, so you can just pick up shield as well and stop yourself from taking damage from those units. So kind of makes him pretty pog. He actually, like, it's insanely good. I loved him. He was one of my first units that I like was excited to crazy summon for and went ham for. And yeah, so that's our one and only Zhang Daddy. All right, next up is the Kamisato Ayaka. I was not very excited for her. I did not think she was going to be anything special. I didn't really care for her when I first saw her. I was like, sword users weren't really my thing. But I actually ended up pulling for her sword because for some reason, don't ask me why, but I thought she was going to have like Ball's sword. I'm stupid. I thought it was Ball's weapon just because Ball pulls a weapon out of her, like between her breasts for some reason, and that's the thing. But anyways, Ayaka, really, really, really good. One of the top DPS units in the entire game. She has a great she's great combo. She has excellent insane damage. The weapon that you have for her as well is crazy good. She has lots of crit damage. It is fantastic. So if you have that Mist Splitter, you are in shape. If you don't have it, will be just fine, because I'm pretty sure there's another sub weapon that you could use as well. I will cover weapons eventually in due time. So, but she has so much. She has a good utility. She can travel across the water with turning into the frost and just travel across that. And when she lets go of it, she can turn ice and freeze everything. So Cryo is actually one of the best like DPS units in the game, just because you can mix that with a pyro unit and you'll just be doing fat damage, and it's just insane. So Ayaka, really, really, really good. I'm going to be pulling for her as soon as she comes back. I kind of wish I did pull on her when she was first here, but it is what it is. So Ayaka, pretty solid. I definitely I'm putting her number 9 just because other units. There's just other units for now. As a side note, you guys, please don't hate me for these units. These are just kind of what I think in the overall rank system. If you think they're higher, then definitely it's all a PvE game in the end. So really, there's not necessarily a one unit who's particularly godlike and way better than the other. I mean, if you're going purely off damage, then that's one thing, but a lot of people don't consider anything besides damage. So I am kind of considering like a bunch of different factors, considering like utility, heals, mobility, just all that like useful overall, like how good they feel to play in the game, just in general, whether it's healing, shielding, mobility around the map, and damage overall, like, so including a bunch of different factors. Next up we have that is going to be Ganyu. I honestly was not very excited for her at all. I did not think so. I was like, nah, whatever. But I think next time she comes around, unless they do a different like 5-star bow user, I'm going to be pulling for Ganyu because she's kind of nutty. She's insane. She's also like one of the top DPS units. I think she actually outbeats Ayaka in damage. With her burst is actually insane. You just constantly rain snow all over them, ice shards, whatever you choose to call them. And she also has a taunt on her elemental skills, which is really, really fat, which just take people off of you, and then you can long range snipe with your charge attack, which will go, if you have your charge attack and you have the weapon, you have the Amos bow, and you have a far distance away, you do increased damage for the far distance that you are away from them, and it shoots, explodes, and it shoots little shots of white burst stuff all over the enemies and kind of bamboozles them. So it's actually really, really good. She's insane. I definitely would recommend summoning for her if you don't have a 5-star bow user. And yeah, she's nutty. She's nutty. I one of the top DPS as well, tied with like up there with Ayaka. Okay, for number 7, you guys, we have the one, the only, the Hu Tao. We currently have her rerun banner, so if you want her, now's the time to get her. She constantly applies pyro with her elemental skill. She does end up doing damage to herself, but being low on HP is good when that's what she wants. So being a little 50%, she does like increased damage. And if you have Staff of Homo, which is on right now, which I generally recommend summoning for Staff of Homo because it's so good on so many units, so I would really do that if I were you. And Hu Tao's overall, she's pretty solid. I personally don't think she's the most like fun unit to use. I mean, I don't have her, I guess, so I can't really like tell, but I mean, she doesn't seem that fun to me when I see other people playing her, but it's like whatever. I mean, I can't really judge. I was tempted to pull for her, but I just ended up not. I got Step of Homa just for fun like a while ago, and so just been chilling with Hu Tao. But Hu Tao, really insanely good damage. I would recommend. She has like self heals. She's got like almost the whole package. You just pair her with like a decent support, give her a little bit of heals and something to like elemental interactions with, and you're golden and good to go. Hu Tao will like hard carry you throughout a lot of things. So Hu Tao, really nice unit, and now's the time to pull for her. If you do want her, I would recommend. She's like probably the top pyro DPS unit in the entire game. She is, I think, the top pyro unit in the entire game. So would go for that. So yeah. Okay, next up, you guys, we have the one, the only, the big Daddy Zhao. I love this kid. I honestly was not sure if I wanted to summon for him at first when I got him, before when I knew he was coming like months in advance. But the more I loved it, I've kind of realized he's like kind of looks like Kaido's son from One Piece. Just he's got the dragon tattoo and he's just all kind of cool looking. But overall, he's really, really, really good. I love him. Like top Anemo DPS, in my opinion. He's fantastic, very easy to use, very like mobile. And his cooldowns are not very long. His burst is not too high. He just offers a lot. He's extremely large amount. So if you have someone with like a battery charger who can just keep charging him, like a ball with Zhao, it's actually insane. So you have that, or if you even have like Sucrose to charge him up, that works too, or Venti, they're insane. So Zhao, really nice, aesthetically pleasing, and I would recommend. I really, really like him. There's rumors that 2.3 might hold a rerun for him, so potentially watch out for that. He might be coming back soon, and you can definitely go for him there. He, I think, is one of the highest DPS units. I think he's pretty decently fun, kind of simple-minded like kit, but overall, I really like him. He's one of my favorite units. He's my main team. He's been since I got him, but it's also kind of because I don't have too many other DPS units, so that's a thing. But Zhao, one of my favorites. The only thing that sucks is just that he's a 5-star, and his constellations aren't kind of needed, so you can kind of skip on those. So if you have C1, it's really nice just because you get like 3 elemental skills instead of 2 stacks. So if you're in a whale, you could just like do constellation to C1. So I would do that. All right, number 5, we have Zhang Ling. This chick I need to max immediately. I mean, I think I need to max my Bennett first, but don't judge me. We'll get to that in a second. Zhang Ling, Guoba. Guoba is enough said. You can do fat damage. He's actually constant pyro application, and if you do elemental, or if you get some energy recharge on her to keep doing her elemental burst and have that spinning around you, you can get some mad DPS with some other units as long as that thing's spinning around you. And honestly, she's pretty fat DPS too. So if you just get a little support and get some little utility kit for her, I think she just needs to primary focus on energy recharge so you can get your burst back. And that's pretty much where everything comes from her. That's your main thing you want to focus on with her. So get energy recharge. You're going to damage, obviously, like crit rate, crit damage, kind of the basic stuff that you want on most units. Pretty much crit rate, crit damage is the 2 stats you're going to want to focus on almost every unit except for Kokomi. So that is okay. Just leave that out of Kokomi and you'll be fine. But overall, she's free to play. That's also kind of why she's up here. She's very easy to come by, good utility, and just fantastic unit overall. So would recommend. All right, number 4, we got Jing Shu. Please don't hate me if I'm saying this wrong, but Jing Shu, water hydro sword user. If you have sacrificial sword, is going to be what you want to go on that. It basically gives you cooldown on the sword when you use your elemental skill, and it will basically allow you to use your elemental skill twice in a row. And he is kind of a charger for hydro units. He is fantastic extra damage along with other units. So if you have like Ball, Zhao, just Hu Tao, just anything like that, Hu Tao plus Jing Shu would be insane because they're just the damage that he has from the hydro swords. I believe you want to go for C2 or 3, or honestly just C1, but if you can C6 him, it'd be fantastic. So if you're gonna get that 5-star that you really, really, really want and you saved up quite a while for, if Jing Shu's on it, then you are golden, which luckily happened for me with Kokomi. And I honestly feel like they put him on Kokomi's banner for that reason, just so people would pull on it because he's actually that good. I love he adds to your damage so much, and his burst is fantastic. So would recommend if you can get a hold of him and just start holding him. He's a 4-star, which is kind of why these 4-stars like are higher up on the tier list, is because they're easier to get higher constellations, which makes them just better. But not constellations aren't a complete game changer, but they're very helpful. All right, number 3, Kazuha. I personally love having this kid on my team. He's fantastic. He offers so much utility. A lot of people are going to hate me for putting him as number 3 instead of number 1. I kind of was rooting for number 1, but these next 2 are just kind of a little bit more useful. He's done a little bit more damage than Venti, and a little bit less utility than Venti. So Venti and him are kind of the same thing, but do a little bit of trade-offs in between. But he's cool. He's a cool sword user. I'm gonna be honest, him being a sword user, I would say definitely would put him above like Venti with bow, but Venti just is godlike for whatever reason. The first character to be like the event banner and come out is insane. So Kazuha, fantastic. He offers so much for your team. And one of the top things with Kazuha is that his elemental burst just looks beautiful. So it creates that big leaf assist thing that surrounds you, autumn whirlwind or whatever, and empirically like applies like a Nemo damage. So it'd be so fantastic. And when it comes into contact with Hydro or any of the other units that aren't Geo, it'll deal additional like elemental damage of that type. So it's fantastic. He's just excellent utility to have like in a party, and overall can help your team. Yeah, he doesn't like necessarily heal, but he boosts your damage like dramatically, and he himself may not be doing all the damage, but he's just one of the best units to have on your team when you're trying to increase all your overall damage. Number 2 brings us to Venti. Now I know the Venti Kazuha like war might be killing me on this, but homeboy is amazing. I love me some Venti. That kid just you will never be off burst if you have that kid on your team and you're playing with like multiple people, even just 2 people. You will always have your burst, so just keep shooting it. And he just gathers up all minions in one area with this little tornado thing. He's a utility for going around the map. You can just fly up. There's so many times I'd just be like, wow, I wish I had a Venti on my team. The only thing I truly don't love is that he's a bow user, but I mean, that's not the end of the world. If you like bow users, then you are golden. That's going to be the number 1 unit that you're going to want to get, because he is probably the best bow user besides Ganyu, but they do 2 different purposes, so you have that going. So Venti, I definitely am hard considering going for his rerun. I kind of wish I didn't skip his first rerun. We'll see what happens if he ever gets a 3rd. I'm sure he will eventually, but for now I'm Venti-less, and I kind of wish I had him, but we're just diving in hard to Genshin now, so we're getting there. All right, last but not least, some of you may hard disagree on this, some of you may agree, is the number 1 is going to go to Bennett. You can look, and there is not a single YouTuber who does not have him maxed on here. Bennett is insanely good, buffs your attack damage by X%. He's nutty. He offers heals, he offers damage to your team, he offers a little bit of energy recharge. Homeboy is disgusting. I am maxing him immediately as fast as I possibly can, and I just wish I had. I'm going to get him, and you just make sure you don't do C6 on him, because that just ruins your kit. So only put him up to C5 if you get a bunch of copies of him, and leave him there. But I think if you get like C2, C3 on him, I forgot exactly which one it is, but that one like kind of increases your damage a little more and releases like a limit of it. So you could definitely do that on Bennett. So make sure you're running Noblesse on him, because that is the spicy stuff that you want. So Bennett, 10 out of 10 recommend, the unit to have in Genshin Impact. If you don't have him, max him and try and get him immediately, because he is going to hard carry your team and hard boost your damage like insanely amounts. So that is our tier list of the top 10 characters. Not really tier list, but those are top 10 characters in all of Genshin Impact. We'll see what Ito brings for us. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys think. Would you guys change some order of characters? If so, just like I really want to know what you guys think. How would you change the order of the characters? Because I kind of want to see maybe you guys have something a point that I didn't like really think of or miss something. So hopefully that was good, and I hope you guys learned something today. So that's all I have for you guys. I am your boy Roman Puss, and I'm gonna be taking off. Yeah, honey. Peace, beautiful people.